All right, so we're gonna start with review over the music notes and symbols that we've learned so far, and then we are adding on something new. So far, let's review what we know, starting with the very first note that we learned. So I'm gonna draw it on the board for you, and then let's go over its name, how many beats it gets, and what we call it. So right here, this is the quarter note, remember that. And the quarter note equals 1 beat. And when we see it in our music, we give it 1 clap and we call it ta. Okay, so when you see your quarter note, you know it's 1 beat, ta. Next note. It looks very similar to the quarter note, but it's not bubbled in. This is the half note, okay? Now, some of you might get a little mixed up because the name of this note is the half note, but remember the number of beats is 2 beats, okay? So this is the one where we're thinking in our head, 1, 2, but when we clap it, we're calling it ta. We're stretching it out. Ta. That's your half note, 2 beats long. This big oval note is your whole note, okay? This one is the longest note in music. It is equal to 4 beats. And just like the half note where we're stretching it out, we have to stretch out the ta for 4 beats. So we'll go ta, like this. Ta. In your mind, you're thinking 1, 2, 3, 4. That is your whole note, longest note. So now we're gonna go from that longest note to the shortest note that we are gonna be learning so far. So far, our shortest note looks like that. This is called the 8th note. And as you can see, you know it's an 8th note because it's got that little flag or that little tail on the top. We've also been learning 2 8th notes together. And what we do with the 2 8th notes is we join their flag at the top. And these are the ones that we call TT. Now, do we remember how many beats one of these 8th notes equals? It's our shortest one we've learned so far. So it's shorter than the quarter note, which was 1 beat. So what's shorter than 1? A lot of us will say 0. And you're right, but in this case, we are actually thinking of 1/2 of a beat. Now this is a fraction. Some of us are learning or already know about fractions. But if I draw it, for example, like a big cookie, a chocolate chip cookie, yummy. So the 8th note would equal 1/2 of that chocolate chip cookie. So that's why when we put 2 notes together, 2 8th notes together, it's like putting both pieces of the chocolate chip cookie back together, and 2 of these are gonna equal 1 beat because when they're together, they're 1 whole cookie. Okay, this is a lot of musical math, and if you think I'm going too fast, don't worry. You can always ask me questions, and I will slow it down and explain it to you. But our newest note is going to be the shortest note that we learn in elementary school. First, let me show you how it's drawn when it is alone. So what do you notice about this note? It looks kind of like the 8th note, but now there is a second tail or a second flag. This note is called the 16th note. The 16th note. Now here's the thing. The 16th note is so tiny, it's worth 1/2 of the 8th note, which would make it worth 1/4 of a beat. So again, we're talking fractions here, but that means 1/4 of these equals 1 beat. So that means, let me tell you now, it's gonna take 4 of these connected together to equal 1 beat. And this is how we draw them. We're gonna draw our 4 little note heads, And then we are going to connect them all, but there's something more we need to do, because if I just left it like this, then this would just be called T, 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 T. This would be 4 of those eighth notes together. But because we look at the 16th note and we see it's got a second tail, that means we need to draw that second line. These are the 2 tails all connected together. So I know that's a lot of information, but we also need to learn what we call them when we're clapping them in a rhythm. And these are fun. I like these because we call them ticka, ticka. Now we know that the eighth notes together are TT, and those are fast, but these are going to be even faster. So these are ticka, ticka. Can you try that with me? Ready, go. Ticka, ticka. So I know sometimes it's kind of hard to clap that fast on your hands. Another thing I like to do is I'll pat my lap, ticka, ticka, and that's another way of doing it. But these 16th notes are our newest notes and our shortest notes. Now, before we actually try to read the rhythms in a pattern, I need to review one more thing, which is our silent beats. So our silent beats are called the rests, okay? Rests mean there is no sound when you see them. That means if you're singing, you stop singing, or if you're playing, you stop playing during that time. Now, so far, the rest that we've been learning looks like that, okay? That is the quarter rest. And just as we can remember that the quarter note equals 1 beat, the quarter rest also equals 1 silent beat. So when you see this one, you go shh for 1 quiet beat. But there is more than just that one. And we're going to now learn the other 2 kinds of rests. So here's another one right here. Now, as I draw it and you take a look at it, what does it look like to you? It looks like a hat, right? So this is the half rest. And you can remember half, hat, it both starts with H-A. And because the half note, as we can remember, equals 2 beats, the half rest also will equal 2 quiet beats. So you're gonna go shh, shh. Or if you're in 3rd, 4th, or 5th grade, you're gonna go, because we tap our shoulders for that quiet beat. And then finally, we're gonna learn this rest. So it looks like the hat is flipped upside down, right? But you could also think of it as this is the ground and this is a hole in the ground that's dug in the ground. And the reason I like to use that one is because it'll help us remember the name of this rest, which is the whole rest. And the whole rest is equal to 4 quiet beats, okay? Sorry, my little ring light is kind of covering what I drew. But just like your whole note, 4 beats long, ta, the whole rest is 4 quiet beats. Shh, 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 shh. Or, okay, so now that we know all of this information and we're super, super smarty pants, we're gonna put this with a beat and following a rhythm pattern. Do you feel that beat? So that's gonna keep on playing as I hold up a rhythm card. Now I'm gonna start with some stuff that we already know, then we'll add in some of those new things that we learned, okay? So look at this card. You've got a T, ta, and a ta. So study it to yourself, and together we will clap it and say it. I'll point, you clap. 1, 2, ready, go. T, ta, ta. Let's do that one again. 1, 2, ready, go. T, ta, ta. Good job. All right. We're gonna throw in some of those quarter rests. So quarter notes and quarter rests. So think of how it's gonna go. 1, 2, ready, go. Ta, sh, ta, sh. Good job. That was pretty easy. Let's do it again. Ready? 1, 2, ready, go. Ta, sh, ta, sh. Another one that just has quarter notes and a quarter rest. 1, 2, ready, go. Ta, 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 sh. Good job. Do it again. Ready, go. Ta, 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 sh. Ah, now we have a new rest. So this is the one that looks like the hat. That means it's a half rest. That means it's gonna be 2 quiet beats. So now that you know that, look at the card. Think of how this is going to sound. 1, 2, ready, go. Ti, ti, ta, sh, sh. Did you get that one? Let's try it again. 1, 2, ready, go. Ti, ti, ta, sh, sh. Awesome. We've got another half rest, 2 quarter notes. So we're starting with the quiet beats. 1, 2, ready, go. Sh, sh, ta, ta. Do it again and ready, go. Sh, sh, ta, ta. Okay, I think it's time to get a little trickier, a little bit quicker. What do we see here? Our 16th notes. Now, quick review, we call these ticka ticka. But with this speed of our beat, it's gonna go pretty fast. It's gonna sound like this, ticka ticka. So if you're clapping it, you're gonna have to clap real quick, or you can pat your desk with your hands, okay? So this one's gonna go fast. We're gonna do it 3 times. 1, 2, ready, go. Ta, ta, ticka, ticka, ta. Good job. Try it again. Ta, ta, ticka, ticka, ta. Last time and ready, go. Ta, ta, ticka, ticka, ta. Woo! Love the 16th notes. This will be our last card for the day. So we've got our quarter notes, we've got our 16th notes, and we are ending it with a quarter rest. Are we ready? We'll do it 3 times. 1, 2, ready, go. Ta, ta, ticka, ticka, shh. Oh, that always tricks people. Everybody wants to do a ta at the end, but it's really a rest. So let's try it for our second time. 1, 2, ready, go. Ta, ta, ticka, ticka, shh. Did you get tricked again? I know some of you did, because I heard some of you say ta. So let's do it for the 3rd time and let's get it perfect. Think real hard. I'm not gonna say ta at the end. I'm gonna go shh. 1, 2, ready, go. Ta, ta, ticka, ticka, shh. You got it. Awesome job.